I would like to introduce all my team members. Starting with myself, my name is AQILAH ZAINARIAH binti ZAINAL. Continuing with Chang.
I'm Choy.
I'm Muhammad Ihsan.
Before we proceed with the question, can you introduce a little bit about yourself?
My name is Hamizah binti Hayat. I am an engineer, which is specifically application engineer for Sutra Analytics in Berhad. Start working since August, which I feel of works more to software and
question here is, in your opinion, why the code is essential for engineer to comply for
standard professional behavior of a worker. So I think it is very essential because by doing so, I mean, you comply with the code of ethics, you will be a good worker.
Okay, proceed to second question. Could you briefly share with us about your experience on how the code of ethics benefit when you're complying the code?
Through my works, okay, the professional behavior that we could implement, okay, let's say when we have a meeting, we hear another opinion from our colleague. And so I think when we comply with a good code of ethics, we can always improve your social skill with others.
The third question, if you are leading to the whole department of engineering for a small company of 20 to 30 employees, the company's manager think that some of them spend plenty of time on the internet completing their tasks not relevant to the work. The manager asks you to start tracking the internet usage, colleagues without their knowledge to prove it. So what are you going to do about it?
We should acknowledge to all the related person. I mean, when it is an order from our boss or our manager, I think we have to just let them know what we are going to do.
So next, as a previous provider, you cannot provide information due to confidentiality concerns about your past role. So what will you do when you meet this situation?
I will just let them know that maybe some of information is PNC. Okay, PNC means that it is private and confidential. I think the other side will understand that one. Okay.
What strategy you will apply to prevent occur ethical conflicts and dilemmas?
First, you have to identify the issue. One, relate to the role of management. And then you can always evaluate your actions.
So if you realize that you have misleading information, what action will you take to curb it or solve it?
I will get back to that person and just apologize for the false information. The person, we can offer them for what we can do to fix that problem.
If one day you become aware of illegal behavior by your colleagues in your working area, so what will you do to prove your innocence?
First, you have to research. I mean, you have to determine whether it is really illegal or maybe it is based on our assumption.
As an engineer, what will you do to maintain your competence and how you demonstrate it you are doing so?
As a newbie engineer, maybe we can always involve in our ability to work in a team. Okay.
Yes. If you find yourself in a situation or relationship that put yourself at risk or not being able to obey the code, what action will you take?
You should have some proof for that, and then you can always report when there's illegal activity that happen to your surrounding.
If the law required that you should behave in a manner that is counter to common sense or our professional judgment, what will you do?
I think these two comes along together. Maybe when it related to our attitude or maybe to our moral value, maybe I can consider about common sense. So I think both of these criteria you must bring in yourself together, but it depends on the situation.
Okay, thanks Miss for your answer. That's all for today's interview.
Good day to you, Mr. Najib Zamri. May you introduce about yourself?
My name is Najib bin Zamri. I'm my working experience is 6 years working experience. I'm currently working in BINTI technology. Out of 6 years, 2 years in mechanical engineering, 1 year in process engineering, and 3 years in equipment engineering.
For the first question, in your opinion, why the code is essential for engineer to comply for implement in related career?
For industry engineering, actually this is correlate with the business guideline, business conduct guideline, what we call is BCG in our industry company. So basically this is how we ensure all the safety features in our company to make sure it is not harm others people.
How do I know if a particular practice work ethically or not?
First of all, we should know what is the ethic of the engineering itself. We should know and understand the 6 principles of these ethics in engineering. So yeah, of course in our company of industry company, we have a HR team that handling all this kind of BCG or ethics in engineering. So we may consult from them and get advice from our HR, BCG, and also of course our manager. I think this.
The code describes a key audit partner to include partners making key decisions or judgment, but the code does not provide guidance when making decisions. Could you provide some examples?
The question is actually related to the decision making and the judgment on we make the decision. So actually, for example, in industrial world or in company, let's say we have a supplier and a B supplier, right? So we're not able to make the decision whether we want to take the A supplier or the B supplier. So this one is actually in industrial world we have a team. They will make the judgment from what the data that we provide to them, and then they will consult us which supplier to be made up.
What if someone consult you, but as previous provider, you cannot provide information due to confidentiality concerns about your past role?
For this kind of situation, right, so this is the data that the provider requests from us. This is under the confidential, private and confidential of the company info or data. So yes, we should not provide this info to the third parties. So yeah, we should consult for the management, of course, the HR that controlling all this data about this. We should not give to them.
What strategy you will apply to prevent or cure ethical conflicts and dilemmas?
Actually, it's on what the strategy that we should use when we're having the conflict or dilemma in making the decision. First procedure, we should make the judgment by ourselves based on the code of ethics. So that if we're not able to make the decision, we should highlight this to our manager on what is the judgment from their point of view. And our team, me and my manager, not able to make the decision, we will consult to bring up to the HR that handling all this BCG issue, the business conduct guideline.
If you become aware of illegal behavior by a colleague or client in your working area, what will you do?
For if there is any illegal behavior in our team in a company, so this one, yes, we should follow the procedure or the guide of ethics on how to react to this kind of situation. So yes, for first, we should highlight this kind of behavior to our manager. If there is still no action from the manager side, yes, we should highlight this to the relevant parties. Usually for company side, there is a HR for this kind of reporting of the illegal behavior.
As an engineer, what will you do to maintain your competence and how you demonstrate you are doing so?
Engineer, for sure, of course, we need to have a continuous learning of the engineering. We need to always increase engineering knowledge. It's not for ourselves, it's for our community also.
That's all for our today interview. Thank you, sir.